So Jeff spoke a little bit before lunch about the community impressions portion of the conference. And so now that we've concluded the oral presentations for the conference, and you guys were so impressive, and we thoroughly enjoyed hearing about the science that was already conducted, as well as the science that's getting ready to happen on the ISS over the next couple of weeks. And every year you impress us even more by coming up with new and innovative ways to use just what is essentially a small silicone tube with 2 clamps and a couple of end caps. And initially they called it a fluids mixing enclosure because it was meant to only mix fluids in space. And you guys, every year you come up with brand new and exciting ways to use what was initially just supposed to be for scientists to mix fluids and see what happened. And so it's really incredible, and you blow us away. Every time some new idea comes in, we're like, how did they come up with that? And how are they mixing 4 and 5 and 6 samples and coming up with ways to analyze different variables all within this one little tube? So it's incredibly impressive, and we're so proud of you guys. And I want you to give yourselves a round of applause for the last 2 days. You guys were incredible. Okay, so normally Jeff comes up here and he does what Jeff does best and gets everyone really emotional and excited to come up and tell everything that you love about SSEP. So I guess I'll tell you what it is that I love about the program, and hopefully it will inspire you to come up and share as well. I've worked for Jeff for 20 years. I was just out of college. My first thing that I did out of college was an internship with Buzz Aldrin, and the thing that he was trying to do at that time was promote space tourism for the general public. He wanted the idea to be that everybody could go to space. He didn't want it to be for the uber rich. He didn't just want it to be for astronauts. He wanted it to be for everyone because it was just the most fantastic thing he had ever done in his entire life. He was well before his time, 20 years ago. He was trying to design vehicles to do it. He had this company, and it just was beyond the time that early on. So it didn't go the way that he had planned. He's still working in that pursuit, and as you can tell, commercial space, I think, is well beyond what he was expecting at that time. But I spent a year working with Buzz, and it was just an incredible experience, and was lucky enough to have him write me a recommendation so that I could get a job working with Jeff at the Challenger Center for Space Science Education. And through that experience, Jeff and I have just been what he loves to call moving mountains together since that time. He's changed my life in so many ways, in that I met my husband working with him, John Hamill. So many of you have worked with him as well. Yes, we are married, we are related. Everyone always asks that question. But I think we've done a lot of programs together. We've sent scientists to underrepresented and underserved communities. We've done space science education programs that focused solely on getting girls interested in science. And I loved each and every program that we did. But there's just something so remarkable about SSEP and so different that I don't think it'll ever be replicated again. I think we came into the space program right at that time where commercial space was taking over. It gave us this opportunity to do something new. You guys are on the cutting edge, and I don't even know if you realize it. There's no other students that have ever done this before. It wasn't happening. When I was a kid, students weren't sending experiments to space. There wasn't a commercial space program. It was only NASA. That was the only way that you could get. And yes, they work with NASA to send these things to space, but you have SpaceX and you have Orbital, and who knows who's coming up on the horizon. And it's just such an exciting time that you are the first students that have ever had the opportunity to do this, and to do it so quickly. 14 missions in 8 years, it's almost unheard of. So I just want you guys to know that you really are amongst a really small crowd of people that have done really extraordinary things. Don't forget to include it in everything that you possibly can. Every resume, every application, everything that you ever tell about yourself. Remember to mention, hey, by the way, I sent an experiment to space, because it's going to really help you out. And so this is the time when we're going to open up the mic. I want anybody and everybody to come up here and talk. Just if you're a parent and you want to talk about what a difference SSEP made for your students, come on up. For your kids, teachers, come up. Students, you can come up and just talk about what it did for you. And so we're going to open up the mic. But make sure when you come up that you state your first name, where you're from, and whether you are a teacher, a community leader, a teacher facilitator, a parent, or a student. Thank you.
Hi, I am Marjorie. I am with the I4 group from Wisconsin. I am kind of a student helper, not a teacher, not a student who did the project. Congrats to them because they did such an amazing job. But for me, this has made a huge impact around our whole entire school. We are an online school, and it's a very small community. It is a very friendly, loving community, but we are very small. And to have the opportunity to be able to do this, to be able to send something into space, I mean, that is insanely amazing. And it really has helped us go on to the next level and be able to compete with those bigger communities, those bigger schools. So I just think that it's such an amazing thing that we were able to do this. It has made such a huge impact around our whole entire school and whole community, and honestly our state, because like I said, we are an online school. We are spread throughout the state. So just thank you to SSEP.
Am I too short? Yeah, I am. So, as you all know, I4 is an online school. I did once go to traditional public school. I had a very rough time there, and I4 gave me the chance to do SSEP, and that's where I met my partner in crime, Grace. And it's been great because I've made so many friendships. I've met so many people. I've had so many people come up to me and tell me how amazing this is, and it's just been a great experience, and I'm happy that I chose to do this, and it's a very great honor.
So, like Anita said, through I4 and SSEP, I met my partner in crime, Anita. I also discovered my love for science and astronomy. I've discovered my love for gallium and a lot of the other elements and multiple things that it can be used for, and it was just so much fun to do with friends.
Hi, my name is Jordan Ordonez. Hi. Now, I'm going to talk about the day that I learned that SCP was coming to our school. I was inside of my physics class, and our program coordinator, Miss Doherty, she came into our class, and she talked about this great opportunity that we all had to send something into outer space. Now, when I learned this, I was completely stunned, and I was about to cry because that's something that I normally do not hear of, ever. And now, when we first started out, we were planning, and months kept going, and at first I was like, Jesus Christ, how am I going to get this done? There's so much work ahead of me. And I think that at one point, each and every one of us thought that for ourselves, that this task was so unbearably difficult. But we have all come together, and we have been able to work together as a team and do something great. Now, I see this program as something that enforces education, and that has played such a big role in my life because I see it as an equalizer. Because people from all over the world have a chance of expressing who they are through science and showing how creative they are, showing what they have, their potential to the entire world. And I cannot find the words to say how thankful I am to this program, to Jeff, and to every single person here, because you guys have made such a big difference and such an impact in the world at such a young age that nobody really has this opportunity. And I want to say thank you to everybody, and I hope we'll see you 20 years, 40 years from now into outer space, seeing Mars someday.
Hello, my name is Gabriel. And I first heard about SSEP when I was about in 3rd or 4th grade. And when I first heard about it, I just instantly wanted to do it. And this year, when all of 6th grade was doing it, me and my group almost didn't get to do it because of the class we were in. Because we were doing advanced science, we almost weren't able to do SSEP. But through hard work, we were able to get it done, and we did it. And I did something I'd always wanted to do for like a couple of years. And it just made me so happy when they told me that we were going to send it to space. It was probably one of the happiest moments of my life I've had so far. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Erin. I'm from Nanaimo. And when I first heard about this opportunity last summer, I couldn't believe that students at my school would have the opportunity to present at the Smithsonian. Like, I can't even believe still that I'm presenting here right now. And unfortunately, there are so many people that underestimate the ideas and the abilities of young people. But being here at this conference and having the opportunity to do real research presented at a real research conference and sharing and learning from all of you guys has been such an amazing experience. I can't even put into words how important this was to me. So I just wanted to thank SSEP for this amazing learning opportunity and thank all of you guys for being here.
Hi, my name is Griffith. I'm from Stamford, Connecticut. So for me, I could describe this whole experience in just one phrase. It was just a big slap on the face with reality. In high school, going into this, we thought, oh, we were like doing pretty well in high school. This should be breeze. Boy, was I wrong. We had to go through like days of like where we were skipping class so that we could learn actually how to write a research paper, how to research properly, so we actually could submit something that's decent and that actually got the job done. Now here we are, sending an experiment to space. Like, that's still so unbelievable to me. And the fact that we're here now after months and months of hard work and we've succeeded. Thank you.
And skipping class is appropriate if it's for space's sake. So Augustus, I'm from Stamford, Connecticut, and I just have 3 takeaways. Space is even cooler than I had previously thought. That's my first. Secondly, I learned what meaningful work is, I think. It's that narrow line between chaotic collapse, where you can no longer function as a person anymore, and the sustainable, high productive state that I think my group and most of us probably experienced and underwent over the months that this went by. It really is an intrinsic feeling that works at your core to the very best of any other experience I have yet felt in my life. And third takeaway is to be grateful. There are people in the world who don't have clothes on their back, and we get to do something as exceptional as this only because of the generosity of people like our teacher facilitators and NASA and everybody who is running NECES and SSEP and our teachers and our peers who we cooperated with, and the list goes on and on and on. So I'm incredibly grateful for all this program has taught me.
As the wonderful Miss Stacy Hamill said a while ago, this opportunity is something that can be sort of used on a resume or something like that. But, that's really good. I've sort of used this whole experience for me being here in Washington. I'm Devin, and I come from Texas, by the way. And this experience has been something that's definitely been wonderful for me because I've come here to Washington, and we get to see all the monuments and everything, and that is amazing. You know, these are pieces of U.S. history. But not only that, I come to Washington, and I've been talking to people. I've been talking to everybody. We went and I saw the Constitution. I got to talk to a wonderful lady from Alabama. I got to talk to a man named Sylvester on the metro the other day. And all these people I've got to met, and I've talked to them, and I've been telling them, you know, I'd like to get to know them and everything. And so I mentioned, I'll be like, oh yeah, and I'm going to this sort of convention here, and they'd be like, wow, that's amazing. And I'm like, it's pretty cool, you know. And so I would just like to sort of take this as a moment to say thank you to everybody who's been here, along with my teacher, she's not my teacher, but she's a teacher at the school I go to. Wonderful Miss Gray, along with each and every one of you in this room right now. Thank you. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Gray. I am a teacher facilitator from Enter County ISD. I don't know how y'all did this. This is nerve-wracking. When I first got the email, I'm going to be honest, I didn't even really read it. I was in a hurry, but I saw the word space, and I said, yes, let's do that. So even as a kid, I've always been intrigued with space, and this has just been life-changing for me. Sorry, I'm going to cry. I cry a lot. To be able to bring my kids to Washington, D.C. and experience this with them is one of the most magical moments in my entire life. It has been very difficult. They don't know the stuff that I did in the background getting ready for this trip, but it doesn't matter. To be here with them is worth it. And there was something really important I was going to say, but I can't remember. But I'm just so very thankful for this opportunity, for this to be able, for my kids to send something into space is just unbelievable. So thank y'all. I love y'all.
I'm Zainab from Texas, and I was always into science, but I think that after doing this and actually sending something into space, it definitely has inspired me to keep on doing it and keep getting interested in science and doing more. So although our teacher facilitator couldn't be here, I really want to thank her because we couldn't have done any of this without her. And I just want to thank SSEP for allowing this to happen. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Roman from Moreno Valley, California, and I'd just like to point out a couple of things. Ever since I was a kid, I've always lived at my grandma's house. Always tuned into the channels, see if I could find anything on, NASA, the Smithsonian. And it's one of those things you think about and you say will I ever get to do one of those things? How will I even? It's one of those things you say, where do I even start? And then you come here, you get you get the message in class. You're like space, that word enough, space. You're in, And it's one of those things, and you just keep thinking about it, and it never gets out of your head. You're actually here in Washington, D.C., in the Smithsonian, one of the most prestigious national museums you could ever go to. And even now, I'm still kind of taking in some of the sites here, not only in D.C., but here in the museum that I've been looking up to ever since I was a small kid. And now that I'm actually here, it's kind of, I'm still kind of taking everything in right now. And this entire program has just brought me so much joy, and not only from seeing all the experiencing all these things in class, not only here, but experiencing. How many of you have always wanted to travel around the United States? Well, I mean, if you kind of think about it, here you are. Here it is. You have people from all across the United States, including Southern America, and you have to start to think sometimes it's not about the places, but the people you meet here. I mean, I understand maybe some of you haven't, talked to each other, but maybe you should, you know, get up, talk to people, because this is probably one of the closest experiences you'll get to meeting, well, to traveling across the entire United States, because like you have people right here, maybe 10, 20 feet away. You can talk to them. You can experience what you probably wouldn't have experienced if you had never gotten this opportunity. I just want to point out, and I just want to thank the entire program, and especially my teacher facilitator, Ms. Stacy Katzenstein, over here in the back. I just want to point out how she's been such an amazing teacher, always pushing us to do our best and never, never doubting anything we have. We have aspired anything we have done in class. If we make a mistake, she just tells us to keep pushing forward, and in the end, look where she got us. And I just want to thank you.
Hi, we are from Brazil, and we want to thank you the great experience that we had and all the support that you give to us. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Thiago. I'm the teacher's facilitator from Brazil. I don't know how to speak English very well, so sometimes I have problems with tempo verbs or something like that. But I'm here to say that it was an amazing experience for us, for our country, and for you. I strongly believe that in the future we can see you kids, you here, inspire the others that will come. So in the name of my country, in the name of the families of my country, in the name of the teachers that support this part of the institution, I would like to thank you and congratulations for all of you.
Hi, Suzanne, Stamford, Connecticut. I'm a parent of one of the kids in the group. There are a few teachers who inspire kids to aspire to greatness. And it's from overcoming obstacles, whether it's financial or teacher support. We had some of the teachers in the classroom saying, well, you're taking kids out of my class for what? And they don't understand the greatness of the whole thing. So thank you for Ms. Doherty and Ms. Amon for doing that. It makes a huge difference. How magical is it to have Jeff Goldstein here, who's really human? Probably one of the brightest aeronautical physicists, astrophysicists in the world, and he's right here, so human in his, was it Zumba instructor's outfit? I mean, how awesome is that? It's been neat to watch this crowdsourcing. You know, from our kids, well, first of all, from our kids, the diversity, and all the kids coming together, and the amount of time they had to take outside of the classroom. Long hours, on top of the years when it's really critical applying to colleges. They didn't care. They made this a priority as well. The magic of the crowdsourcing. When you look at the greatest minds out here, you kids don't understand. You're not molded yet into one way of thinking. And it's so magical that this is out there. These are the minds of the future, so thank you.
Hey, Chelsea, Belen, New Mexico. I'm a teacher facilitator, and I just wanted to come up and just talk about my gratefulness for this program. We are a very small district. We are one high school, over 75% minority, and Title I, so low income as well. This is doable. When you get your community involved, when you get everybody behind what is an amazing experience for our students, something that will propel them to greatness in the future. When you have a group of people who are willing to stand behind students like that, anything is possible. And I'm so grateful to be part of a team that when this email came across and a couple of us kicked around the idea and I said, well, let's do it. They jumped in, 2 feet. No hesitation, and we were off. We had over 600 students involved in this program to begin with, and we brought 3 teams here to this symposium. And I just want to say thank you to the students. And that's where I get emotional. So But they're the ones who did the work. This is an emotional roller coaster. And there are days, ask myself and my colleagues 2 weeks ago, if you asked us if we would ever consider doing this again, the answer was a resounding no, because it is exhausting. But when you see your kids get up here and talk about the research they did, because I'm a facilitator, I'm just that. I didn't do their research, I didn't write their papers, I just helped them get here. And that's it from the background. When you see the greatness that you have in your students, it makes you realize that we do have a wonderful tomorrow. Thank you.
Well, hi, y'all. I'm Pam. I'm from New Jersey. I'm a professor at Stockton University. And I just wanted to take a moment and just say how cool this program has been for me to participate in for the last 2 years. It's just been a really amazing thing to watch, that spark of curiosity in all of your eyes when you get up here and talk about your ideas. And science, I always say, is a conversation between a community. And the community is not just in this room, it's all over the globe. So I hope when you leave here today and you take your ideas and see where they go, that you really, you come back here next year and you try to disseminate these ideas to a broader audience and to your community at large, at home, because science shouldn't be scary to the community and it shouldn't be scary to the public, especially when I see what I've seen here today. So rock on, guys. You did great.
I'm John Bolanino. I'm from Stamford, Connecticut. Needless to say, I'm incredibly grateful to be here, and mainly because it's demonstrated to me the possibility for meaningful work and really meaningful science. When we were watching the IMAX movie last night, the two things that came up as the main challenges people faced on the ISS were eyesight and food. And we lost our minds when we heard about that, because those were the two things, those were the two problems that we were doing experiments on. And it was really empowering to me, because I realized that the work that we were doing, the answers weren't in the back of a textbook. This wasn't some lab that we were doing in our CP chemistry class that had the answers all mapped out already. This had the potential to be real and groundbreaking, and that's really empowering to me. So I thank you for that experience, and that, yes.
My name is Juliana. I am from South Carolina, and I'm a student at Alice Drive Middle School. I'm out of all the students probably from here, I'm surprised too that I got here, because I remember in my robotics class, my teacher announced, Miss Cynthia Parker, who is right there. She announced that NASA has this project going on with the students, and it was absolutely mandatory that we, did I missay it? It was absolutely necessary that we work on this project. And then I had another STEM teacher, my engineering teacher, Mr. Long, who had me participate in this. So I was working on 2 projects, and I was more focused on my robotics project with Ms. Parker than I am with my engineering team. But surprisingly, my engineering team was chosen for all of the SSEP projects, and he had 40 projects submitted to him. I was not submitted for the flight, but I was chosen as one of the finalists, and I was presenting earlier, and then I had a technical difficulty with the slides. The clicker was not working with me, and that was a big problem. Whoops. There it is. But I would honestly say, for the Kool-Aid, the powdered substance project I was working on, we didn't really take that one very seriously, but when we were chosen, I was like, oh, okay, time to pick up the game here. And we had Ms. Smith, who our professional advisor, come and tell us what the project is going to be about, what we're going to do here, what the slides and all this. And by the end of it, I didn't want to work on it anymore. I was too tired. I remember working on the proposal, and at the end, my brain was completely fried. But it's amazing how all of these students here and the students at my school got to work together and work on a project that will be sent to space, and they can get their data and see what happens, whether it will help in future space travel or not. And like I hear people say, my generation and younger generations before that are probably going to see moon colonies or traveling to Mars. And if we continue to work together, it's going to happen. Maybe we'll find another planet with life on it that's similar to humans, maybe with blue skin. I don't know. It's really amazing. I don't know what to say, but I want to thank everybody for attending and staying this long just to hear the last person talk. I want to say thank you and rock on.
Hello, my name is Stacy Hughes. I'm the district director for our district, Burleson ISD in Burleson, Texas. And yes, and I want to say that community impact-wise, this program has impacted our community in a really big way. Our students are connecting with professors. They're connecting with people, Lockheed Martin, Bell Helicopter, they're MIT, even in Harvard, they're reaching out beyond the boundaries of our school. And one of the things that I've noticed and what I want to say is that SSEP really is democratizing science and space flight and space exploration. And these kids, you see it across nations now, and this is our 4th mission. We've seen it grow every time. We're signed up for the 5th, and we just are excited to keep going. So thank you.
Hi, my name is Jim Wright. I'm an engineer by training and a budding bioinformaticist. I'm from San Jose, California. I was helping out with one of the teams from San Jose. I just wanted to add a couple of suggestions. I don't know if maybe this has been covered, but the experiments that all of these students have done, and including some of the ones from previous missions, I noticed there's a certain amount of overlap. And it seems like to me if there isn't some sort of data repository for results and conclusions and even negative results, coming from my bioinformatics experience, there's a lot of data repositories that are used in that, and I think it would be really useful to this program to create one if there isn't one already. The other suggestion I have is obviously all of these young people have amazing imaginations and creativity, and I would ask you to keep that going as you move forward in your lives and starting your careers, and think about how we can keep adding more programs like this, because I think it's really important to not dismiss the brilliance and the imagination of the younger part of the population. Thank you.
I always debate if I need the box or not. So my name is Paula DiDiego. I am from Fitchburg, Massachusetts. We've had 8 teams participate, and we're going into our 9th. I understand the tireless, countless hours that it takes as a community director and as a teacher facilitator. And at the end of all of that, I often question, why am I doing this again? And then I see my kids and how amazingly proud I am when they're charged with something that is hard. And at first, you know, you watch them struggle, you watch them get frustrated, you watch them get a light about a question that all of a sudden they realize there's an impact. And they start to go a little deeper and they start to ask you more questions. And next thing you know, they've developed something that I think they didn't realize they were capable of. And they then move forward from there and continue to realize they can do amazing things. And so as a teacher and someone who loves science and who loves to reach down to that next generation and try and engage them and encourage them, I'm blessed in my job. And I would ask for each of you, students that have developed amazing experiments, take that and reach back now to your peers who are hopefully going to get to do this, you know, next year or the year after, and serve as a mentor to them. You've gone through this. You've gone through all of those roller coasters, highs and lows, and you can encourage them when they need it. You can inspire them when they need it. You can give them sound advice as they are trying to work in groups and develop and design. And it's really, truly rewarding to be able to be in that role as well. So thank you to SSEP for allowing us to do something that is beyond the textbook with these kids. So thank you.
Aren't you guys glad you stuck around to hear everybody say such nice things about you? It's always nice. So the conference isn't over yet. We've got poster presentations in Space Race, which is right next door. So in just a minute or so, we'll be pushing you out of this gallery. If you're supposed to present poster presentations today, they, as I said earlier, are below Skylab, the gold, black, and white space station out in Space Race. There'll be a young lady in a red and black shirt. She'll be handing out the poster boards and the easels, and she also has tape for you all, okay? And we need you there in Space Race, doing your best to present to as many people as humanly possible until 4:30. At that time, we'll come around and let you know it's time to clean up and try to get some attendance data from you. So don't forget that. And I just wanted to say that you know, I don't know that we always let you guys know how much you impact our lives. Stacy talked about the experience with SSEP. I've been doing this for 10 years about. And I know it's affected me just standing here listening to you all talk about your experiments. And I have to tell you, I'm on the National Review Board, so I get to help pick the experiments that go on the ISS. And I really dread the weeks leading up to this because that's a lot of studying I have to do. Because some of your experiments are so technical and so complicated that I really have to do my research so that I can comment intelligently on your experiments. And quite often I am amazed at the level that these experiments are written at, and the ideas in these experiments are fantastic. And every time I get to see one of the SSEP proposals or talk to any of the SSEP student scientists, I feel privileged. So I think you all deserve a round of applause before we head out into Space Race. And I wanted to thank you again for coming to the National Air and Space Museum, and the 2018 SSEP National Conference is almost over. So thanks a bunch, folks. Appreciate it.